Hey, shalom, shalom. Anakna waha ibarish Allah walakim la thumb call Shabawai. Aracha wakak shoy bashmal shah. Hey, we the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Bashmal Shah to preach you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Repent ye for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Laim La, Yahweh, Basham Yahushua, Basham Cha Kodash, Wamashanaka Badim Zakoim Na, Wamalakim Shoy, Shalom Zakoim Racha Gadwal, Wachasa, Washalam, Wabarkim Habachaya Shah, Gobashah Shalom. All right, so I praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means He exists. Bahashem in the name Yahweh Shai delivers. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. God, who this world calls God, His name is Yahweh, and His Son's name is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who this world calls Jesus Christ. All right, which Yahweh Shah means He delivers. All right, so I just want to go into a couple of these articles, just based on a couple conversations over the last couple months, years, and most recently. A lot of people are like doing a little ancestry thing. All right, so I just want to go into some articles on that. It says let me see, I want to start from here. It says, but law enforcement's use of DNA databases has opened another front in the growing battle over digital privacy. Should third parties, in this case police, have access to personal data people generate by using consumer technology? And should investigators be allowed to use the technique to solve all crimes or only the most violent ones? All right, and just speaking as a man, this is, they put in the front as if it's out there for the crimes and stuff like that, but it says growing battle over digital privacy. It says consumer technology. So just speaking as a man, this it looks like it's going to be tied into that whole Karagma situation, the whole Karagma system. You see, the whole DNA thing. If you think about it, Esau, the so-called white man, he ain't never did nothing for Jake. You see, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and Israelite foreigners, he's never did anything for Jake. You see, so if he's doing anything, just through history and through the scripts, it's always to push forth his enterprise. You see, so this can be potentially used in conjunction with that Karagma. It says, I'm just going to skim through a couple of these articles. All right, but this one is just basically going into how they're using it for cases and stuff like that, unsolved cases. Let's get some more articles. It says police were cracking cold cases with a DNA website. Then the fine print changed. Let's see. It says, for the first time, police had submitted DNA from a crime scene in a consumer DNA database where information about distant relatives helped them identify a suspect. The announcement kindled a revolution in forensics that has since helped solve more than 50 rapes and homicides in 29 states. All right, this is going into solving cases, how police can use your DNA to solve crimes without your consent. It says he was even more confused when an FBI agent asked to swab his cheek for DNA. It says they wouldn't tell me anything. Usury now 43 tells the Post, I was like, am I being accused of a crime? Do I need a lawyer? All right. And these aren't really going deep into it, but they can do things like that for crimes and things as such, you see. But Jake is just willingly giving up their DNA, you see, because Esau is painting it as if he's doing it for a noble cause, who for the most part, who don't know nothing about their history. That's Jake, man. You see, so Esau already know predominantly it's gonna be Jake doing that. You see, so that's who he's after. You see, Genesis 27:41. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. You see, roughly paraphrasing, and that's what he got on his mind. You see, he just not putting it out on the forefront because it ain't just for to help out Jake. All right, the last article was going into how it's gonna be tied into digital something digital. All right, and essentially, just speaking in my humble opinion, it sounds like it's going to be something tied into the Charagma. It says use of direct-to-consumer DNA tests have exploded over the past decade, with an estimated 100 million people worldwide sharing their genetic information with companies like Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, Family Tree DNA. All that DNA has been a boon to law enforcement agencies who've discovered that investigative genetic genealogy is far more effective if searches aren't restricted to DNA left at a crime scene. All right, let's see. But yeah, they're speaking as a man. I think they doing something with that with these people's DNA, and they're just tying it into that Charagma. Let's get some precepts though, because there's really no use in doing all those searches and sending in your information and stuff like that, because it's only going to give you what they consider the different races. You see, but what you truly are is what you come from your father. All right, but the first precept I wanted to get was Sirach, chapter 11. Chapter 11, or Salat, chapter 12. All right, because again, the so-called white man has never did anything for the benefit of Jake. It's always something behind it, you see, and his wickedness is declared at the last, just like with the whole vid situation, we seeing that it was a whole experiment. You see, it was to see who was gonna fold, so he knows who to come after, and this whole, not saying this is what was going on, but the whole thing with this whole ancestry thing, he know that Jake is the only one that's searching to see who they are for the most part, so he would know who to come after when they come with that Revelation 12 and 12. All right. But this is Sirach 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy. Who is our enemy? Who is the nation of Yasha'Allah, Israel's enemy? So-called white man, the Edomites, all right, with Amalek, spearheading it. It says, for alike as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. You see, so even though he appearing as if he ain't coming with no problems, he ain't coming with no issues, you got to beware of this devil, because he's had a history of being a devil. You see, being adverse to the nation of Israel. All right. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rest hath not been altogether wiped away. You see, so even though that he humbling himself and appearing as if he ain't coming with no problems, no issues, his wickedness is still there. It's going to appear at the last, My next precept is this is the Hallmark with Psalms chapter 64. You see, because this devil he has a plan, with everything he does. He moves strategically. Esau isn't stupid. You see, it says, this is the Hallmark chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. All right. So they search out iniquities. You see that they plot wickedness, man. They don't have a righteous vessel in their body, man. You see, they search out iniquities, man. It says I think it's somewhere in Proverbs. Hold on, slide. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe 4 and 16. It says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. You see, so they don't sleep unless they cause somebody to fall, man. They don't sleep. They don't get any type of rest until they commit some type of evil doing. You see. Now going back, this is Psalms chapter 64 and verse 6. It says they accomplish a diligent search. You see, so that's what they be doing, the experiments. They they do all the experiments and stuff like that. You know, with the Tuskegee Airmen. You know, seeing how syphilis affects the body. You know, with the experiments with Jake slaves throughout slavery. You know, all the medical advancements they have done with Jake. You see, to see how these different things affect the body. You know, and various different other things. You see, but they accomplish a diligent search. All right, it says both the inward thought of every one of them, every single one of these Edomites. It says both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So every single one of them is in this spirit. And the spirit of searching out iniquities, accomplishing a diligent search. All right. It says, and the heart is deep. All right. And that word deep goes into unsearchable. So they have an unsearchable amount of wickedness on their mind. You see. It says in the NLT, in the NKJV, they devise iniquities. We have perfected a shrewd scheme. You see. It says CSB, we have perfected a secret plan. It says we have perfected a. I'm gonna read the CSB first. It says we have perfected a secret plan. The inner man and the heart are mysterious. You see, so Esau do something over here, and in the end, he really wants to get this over here on the right. He do something on the left, and then do a left twice, fake left, and then go right because he really want to get what's on the right. You see, it's mysterious. He comes. It says a deceitful man comes with many trains, and we'll get that through the Spirit, Lord, as well. It says they devise iniquities. We have perfected a shrewd scheme. Both the inward thought and the heart of man are deep. All right, unsearchable. As they plot their schemes, they say we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. And that's not talking about just the human heart. It's talking about the so-called white man. All right. Because you go up to verse 2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. And this chapter is going into the wicked. All right. Our next precept is going to be Ban Sirach, chapter 11. And verse 29 to verse 32, it says, bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains. All right, and the part that I want to get out of this verse was that the deceitful man has many trains. So basically, going to trains, it basically means that he has many ways that he'll try to set you up. Going to verse 30, like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so the heart of the proud, going into that deceitful man, and like as a spy watcheth he for thy fall. You see, so he really trying to trap you. You see, so just tying us into what I was talking about in those articles, the whole thing with the ancestry in recent years, last couple months, you see, it's only a trap, and his wickedness will be declared at the end. It says, watcheth he for thy fall, for he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil. You see, he really trying to trap you because he has many trains and he trying to catch you. It says, and turneth good into evil. All right, so you would think that, Jake is searching to see where he comes from. You see, that would be a good thing, because if you know where you started, you would have a good idea of where you're gonna end. You see, so that's a good thing. All right, but he turning this good thing into an evil thing because he knows that Jake is putting his energy into this ancestry type thing. You see, he turned into evil. You see, because he gonna declare his wickedness at the last. You see, and truly, those that don't come up out of that spirit of doing things as such, it's gonna be their demise. All right, it says, and in things worthy praise will lay blame upon thee. You see, so he really has something up his sleeve. It ain't just for the good that he's putting out there. He has a deceitful plan after it. It ain't like, oh well, I've been wicked to you for ever, and I'm decided decide to finally tell you who you are, throw you a bone and do some good to you. Nah, this man has a plan up his sleeve. All right. This is Titus chapter 3. Titus chapter 3 and verse 9, it says, but avoid foolish questions. And a foolish question, well, I'm going to keep going. It says, and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. All right. And it says, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies. All right. So you should avoid foolish questions and genealogies, because going into that genealogy thing, just applying this to today, you see, they ain't gonna give you what you truly are. You see, because your genealogy goes back to your father. They'll tell you you're mixed with 0.2% Asian, 0.3% white, which that's not even a nationality, 0.35 black, 25.6% Spanish. I don't know, just throwing stuff out there because that's what they'll give you. That's confusion. That's why you shouldn't, like I said, I'm just applying it to today. You shouldn't be all tied up into that ancestry and genealogy and stuff like that. All right. But moving on. This is Revelation 12 and 12. You see, because just going into some of the scripts that I brought out in the video, it ain't like this man is just doing it out of the good of his own heart, because he coming with that great wrath, you see. And we saw that in one of those articles. You see that, and like I said, I was speaking as a man, that it said it was tied to digital and stuff like that. So it could be tied to the Karagman, you see, but just with his whole plan of that ancestry thing, it's gonna be somewhere down the line. It's gonna be tied into coming down with that great wrath, because that's what's going to happen. You see, it's Revelation 12 and 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." You see, so this devil's coming out. He throwing when you backed into a corner, it's 30 seconds left in the fight. It's 30 seconds left in the fight. Or not even 30 seconds, last minute. You ain't just about to, just throw over here, throw over there. Now you can cut the pressure up. You can throw the kitchen sink. When I say kitchen sink, I mean you throwing a 10-punch combination. You moving everywhere. You trying to take this guy out. And that's what Esau is doing. You're not just going to come full steam ahead. You're going to throw a couple feints over here. You might throw like a fake over here. Come with an uppercut, and then come with the kitchen sink. Clean him up. The house special, clean his ass up. But somewhere in there you're going to have a couple fakes. This basically is a fake, This whole ancestry thing, it's a fake to come down with what he really want to come down with, because we are in those last seconds of this man's kingdom. So he doing everything. You see the whole juice campaign, saying, oh, he got this many jobs, the voting, everything this man is coming with is a trap, man, to keep Jake mind everywhere else but on the scriptures in sincerity and totality. You see, this man is coming with that great wrath, so he has many trains, many ways that he wants to get Jake tied up. You see, so Abaratazada was edifying, call her Laim La, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Kragdash. Hey, double honor to the elders and apostle, great millstone that told me this truth and rule well. And much respect to you brothers out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.